clarify in terms of if it's sector specific or if it's just somebody who's young who has a business idea, can they access that?
Yes, they can do. In fact, we've been working in what is called credit guarantee scheme. Credit guarantee scheme, basically what it does is that majority of young people don't have collateral. And some of them just want to start. They're woken up, they know how to, they can start a project or they can start a business. The only thing they have is that idea. So how do we therefore finance that idea? In partnership with Kenyatta University, they have a business incubation center. So we partnered with them, we gave them some money to be able to incubate those ideas. That a young person can be able to get a place and just incubate the ideas. I've gone around the country, I've met amazing young people with great ideas. All they need is an opportunity to exploit that idea. And like one young man at Kenyatta University was able to make, an alarm through a mobile phone, that if a robber wants to break your house, you'll be able to know. You'll be alerted on your phone. This is amazing invention.
Innovation, yeah.
Yes, and so what do we do with such young people? That's what other countries have done. That's what the US did. That's what other countries have done. You invest on those young people who have great ideas and they don't have resources to do it. Sure. So working with those other partners and also a credit guarantee scheme that would ensure that any young person who has a great idea will get money to implement the idea.
I think a lot of the questions that are coming in here, it may be clear what your intention is, but it's actually accessing that. If I can read through some of the messages coming through. Okay, I've got a message here which says, we have got ready proposals on beekeeping, fish farming, initiating a county finance, agricultural magazine, county sanitation program, soybeans farming with women groups. How do we access the funds in Meru?
In Meru.
And somebody else here who's talking about an idea for a funeral service. If I can just find that text, I saw it a little bit earlier, but again, it was the same thing of how to access the funds.
How to access. Now the problem is sometimes you may have products, but people don't come to the market where the product is sold. I mean, that is a major problem among young people. Sometimes it's lack of information. That people don't know where to go and get services. And you saw what the president did the other day, and our Minister for Devolution and Planning, is to create an Huduma Center where people can go one stop. Because the reason is sometimes people get frustrated because they don't have information. But also sometimes people have information but they don't want to pass you that information or to pass you the route where they can be able to get the information or follow the lead. So I think it is very important for young people. Go to the chief, go to the DO, ask where can I get a youth fund officer. Just take an initiative. The first step to doing anything is to just ask. Ask. Even the Bible says, ask and it shall be given unto you.
Okay, because a lot of what the messages are coming in here is where are your offices, how many counties are you in? I had a message come in for someone asking if you're in Wajir County. So maybe you can clarify.
We are in every constituency we have an officer. And we call them constituency enterprise development officer.
How do they find
And we've given them, go ask the chief, ask.
Okay.
Ask. If you don't ask, nobody will give you an answer. Ask, pass you. There are many young people who have asked, they've gotten the money, they've repaid, they have collected more money. Yet there are other young people who say it can't be. We can't get the money is not, we don't know where it is. Our offices in Nairobi is at the National Bank House on 8th floor. So you can come and ask the questions you want to ask. Ask the chief, ask the DO, ask the county commissioner, ask your member of parliament, ask your governor, ask. Because don't just sit back home and say we can't get this money or the money is inaccessible. Just go and ask. Yes, that is very critical, because if you don't ask, then nobody will tell you. And like I've told you, President Kenyatta has given you a blank check. It's your creativity. If you are creative enough, you'll be able to write the amount you want. It's an open check.
Okay, I had another SMS which came in on someone asking about, which we briefly talked about earlier, this lag time between application and receiving the funds. This person said they were 35 when they applied. The lag time was so long that by the time they received the money, they were 36. So maybe you can clarify about this lag time, about this age cutoff. How strict is it?
It's strict because it's the law. The Constitution says 18 to 35. Yeah. But we would like them to graduate to other banks and the usual, financial institutions. But we are reducing the time period between day 1 to day 31. So it should be like 3 weeks or 30 days. It has been a challenge, like I told you, because of the number of staff. So we are increasing because the uptake is going high. The demand seems to be higher than now the number of people who are supposed to serve them. So we are increasing that. And there are just hiccup challenges, but our officers are doing a great job trying to, to be able to satisfy them.
Farming is cool.
Yes. Farming is cool,
Where do I get land? If I am a young man and my father is tea estate, yes. Where do farming is cool? Where?
Farming is cool. I mean, it's...
Where is the land?
Mutegi, you can decide to be a pessimist or an optimist. You can say, I can't get land.
Yeah,
I mean,
there are a lot of people say that.
The best say that I like, I put it in a wall and in my house. It says, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you are right. You are right. Yeah. Because it's about your attitude. You can decide and say, I mean, I can't get land, and you can't get. You are right, you can. But there are people who have decided they can get land. It doesn't matter whether they own it or they lease it. You can lease land. And there are many places. Farming in school also, we are trying to do a school-based program. Most of the government schools have huge hectares of land, and they're doing nothing about it. Trying to just encourage young people in high school, even in primary school, to start doing something in farming. Because farming is cool. We must become a breadbasket of Africa. We must be able to feed ourselves and feed others. And we can use the land we have. We have acreages of land. We have hectares of land in this country. So as a young person, don't just say you don't have land. You can go to your neighbor. You can ask if you can lease their land and use. And we'll be able to support you. We are working with Amiran. We are even able to get the carry guys to do the soil testing and help you set up the whole kit for agribusiness. Because if farming is cool and you get into farming, there are many young people who are making millions of money. And an example of even the old man, Mr. Wanguku, he made money out of farming. It was just chicken.
Moguku.
Yes. Moguku. Yeah. It means it can be done. We're just telling young people, don't just look at the white-collar jobs, or just don't look at the white-collar business. Where you sit in an office, you have a tie. I mean, you can do farming and make money out of it. And you help feed the population, and you'll be able to export the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've discussed the whole spectrum, and there's still questions coming in, so I really want us to be as clear as possible so that our audience who is watching have a clear idea. So this is a message that's come in which says, please, Chairman, can you outline the full process of the requirements for this fund? I think people are very interested in getting their hands on this blank check, which you're saying exists. But let's just be very clear about what is needed, what the requirements are, how to go about it, so that people are absolutely clear.
First qualification, you must be between 18 and 35. If you a little bit, you've just passed 35, sometimes you could cede your company shareholding from maybe 90-10 to 10-90. Because the majority shareholding must be young people. Because sometimes the nature of some big projects need that you have somebody who can be able to steer you. But that is the first qualification, 18 to 35. Number two, you must be able to have a national identification card. You must know you are Kenyan. And three, you must have a business plan. It starts with a plan. You must put it down. What is it that you want to do? But when you walk to our offices are the customer touch point. Our officers will give you a form and tell you these are the requirements. Part of them is what I've said. You must be 18 to 35. You must have a national ID. You must have a business plan. And if you want to do in terms of VOCA, you may decide to have a company. So you must have a registered company. If you want to borrow through a company,
is there support,
you must have a bank account.
In putting this business plan together? Because maybe some of these youth may have a fantastic idea, but not necessarily know how to articulate that. Are there those support services?
In fact, our officers, what they are doing, because we've realized majority of young people have these ideas, but they can't put it together. We have officers who help you to put it together in terms of the form you filled. When you're filling the form, then you'll be able to be asked, how much do you expect to get? How much do you expect to earn? And then how much are you expecting to spend? Then we'll be able to help you do a balance sheet. Basic accounting to just help you to capture what you think as an idea and whether it is viable or not. So we have officers who are trained. We've capacity build them in such a way that they are able now to take your idea and translate it into a good idea that can be able to get financing. And we also finance you. And once we identify you as a possible beneficiary, we do what is called pre-disbursement training. Before we give you the money, we must train you to be able to handle the money. Because sometimes money becomes, you know, sometimes when you just get money and you don't have training, then it becomes very difficult for you.
And this is both for individuals as well as companies.
Yes,
so let's just clarify that.
Yes, it is. I've said the groups. I'm saying the blank check is for both groups. It's
so
for individuals and
individuals,
also
companies.
circles and companies.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially I encourage many young people to form companies. You know why? Because we have the 30% procurement rule, which is preferential. And the Honorable Sakaja has already taken that to Parliament, a great legislator for that matter. Then young people will be able to have this happening. And the President just launched it the other day. It means that the government has given you a blank check. You can even write $1 billion of it on that check. What you need to do is they need to register companies. You need to start by registering a company. You open a bank account. You'll get YAGPO. YAGPO is Young People Access to Government Procurement. At National Treasury, you'll get that certificate to say that you qualify for the 30%. So I think it is up to young people to register companies in readiness for the 30%. Majority of them have done that, and they are able to now access that. We are going to set up at very soon, I think within a month, we are setting up a center where we are going to give LPO financing. Any young person who has an LPO from government will be able to get financing without delay. So you walk in with your LPO, within 7 days you have the check to go and supply. And then we have an arrangement without any collateral. Because we want them to do business. So we are going to set up a place, and also at that place, within a month, I think once we conclude, because we were setting it up at ICA building on 7th floor. We've not finalized, but as soon as we finish, they will be able to walk in on 7th floor of ICA building and walk out with the paperwork, with a check. Within 7 days, we'll be able to process that, and they will be able to supply and get their money. So apart from that, at that center we are going to do now the YESA Secretariat, where youth employment abroad, where they will be able to put their CV, and then we look for employment abroad. Number 3, we are also going to put up a place for the same place, where there would be a lawyer to help you to set up a company with the paperwork, you know, memorandum and article of association, stuff like that, and be able to have also an auditor and accountant at a small fee to just be able to help you do your accounting.
But how many members of staff do you have?
We have 2 members of staff in every constituency, and they have a motorbike, so they should be able to go around also. It's also your job as a young person.
I'm assuming that the demand will be overwhelming.
Yes, it will
as
be.
We're seeing from these messages coming in.
Because we must do it. We must do it. That's the right way to do it. Because if we empower young people and they do business, our economy would get a boost, because the government will trust.
The question here is your capacity.
Your capacity
to deal with the overwhelming demand.
Because but you know what we are doing, we've also been using volunteers, those young people who just want to volunteer to serve. So our staff are equal to the task, and we've been training them in terms of how to be able to process these loans faster and help majority of young people be able to get the money. So the capacity is there because we've been continuously training them. And like I told you, we are now going through a process of ISO certification to just get that the system is right. If you apply in 1 day, you are sure that within 30 days you know whether you get the money or not. So it's very clear. You don't have to wait until you are over 35.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just want to read out this message to you. This is from Kelvin. Kelvin Kerr. He says, good work, but more is needed on information, training youth on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So maybe that's a valid point about somebody having a great idea, you having everything that you're offering to enable that business to come to fruition, but what about the actual business training and literacy that comes in after, once the business is in existence?
I think what is critical is, you know, once the basic training, there is a basic, you know, money